Welcome back to my channels, Mr. Mental Health. Please like, subscribe, comment. Again, man, I want to thank everybody for all the support, the comments, the shares of Facebook videos. I'm making my way to other social media platforms as well, outside of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Trying to raise awareness, across all the platforms. It's slowly picking up, but it's picking up. So that's the main thing. People are engaged, and interested in hearing somebody speak on mental health topics, especially African American male like myself. So today, I must keep it with the topic of why is men's mental health important. And I think this topic is important because we are pretty much we supposed to be strong for society, and we supposed to have our stuff together, and we supposed to take care of our families. We supposed to be the head of household, so to speak. And it's hard to do that a lot of times when you're not handling the things that's affecting you, especially like unattended to or unheeded emotional problems. It cripples our ability to be family men, to focus in society, and also leads to depression, and it causes become suicidal. You fall in a hole, and sometimes that hole is too deep to come out, and you lose a lot of things along life, the walk of life, because you can't get out this hole. And that's why it's important for us, the man, to really address these issues, because it's really just getting together and talking about it. Once you become comfortable getting this stuff off your chest, and it's like you feel like you're 10 feet tall, or you done lost 25 pounds because that weight is lifted. And it have to start somewhere. I've just got with a brother of mine from Chicago, and what we want to do is to get together on Fridays and talk about mental health issues. And so it's the basis of it is that a brother bring a brother, So somebody else brings somebody, let's sit down and talk. We're in a no judgment zone. We all equal. We just here, we different walks of life, but pretty much we the same. But let's talk about some of these issues that you struggle with every day that don't nobody even know that you're struggling with. Only you know, because you talking to your inner self. Why do men refuse counseling? It's looked at as a weakness. Of course, culture always teaches us to be strong. But with being strong comes a lot of weight that comes with being strong. And we don't address our mistakes, because that's what counseling do. It focus you to look directly in the mirror and focus on the mistakes you made. And you got to learn how to do things differently, because what you was doing, it's not working. So you got to learn to do things differently. And then pride, you got to be able to tuck that pride. How prideful are you if you're not able to talk to your kids, if you're not able to maintain relationships, if you're not able to grow in life from a business standpoint? What does pride mean? Pride gets so many people shot and killed. It's ridiculous, because they got too much pride. But why you can't tuck your pride to better yourself and your family, to love yourself more, to educate yourself more, because with the understanding of yourself, you educate yourself more, and you become more cognitive of what's your boundaries, what are your triggers. Once you become familiar with those type of things, you're able to function better in society. And then what I found interesting is about like social support. A lot of guys, as far as social support, really men only get together. Sometimes this is interesting to talk about like the stuff we can relate to, which is sports, cars, girls, you know what I mean? Families, or you have a situation with your children's mom that you don't agree with. But we don't have that emotional support from our own brother. And that's because our own brother don't know how to give this emotional support. So it's definitely something, we gotta address or whatever. And then I think another thing too, man, what's missed from a mental health standpoint is, do you know when you're being loved? I heard this guy was telling me a story that he was doing like a counseling session with somebody, and they have permanent like nerve damage because they walk down so much that and they live their life to be rejected because they don't know how to be happy. And that's deep, because now you got a permanent walk on down. You always walk down because you never had any confidence in yourself. And this is going to stick with you forever. Like, you got permanent damage, spine damage, whatever you want, neck damage, you just walking down because that's what you was accustomed to. You was always used to somebody telling you something negative, and that's what it had to be. So, like, do we know what love looked like from somebody else? Is it the situation of it's too good to be true, or is the person, do we know what that looked like? And that's pretty deep, because somebody could be giving you all this unconditional love, and you don't even know how to take it in because you never were loved or never knew how to understand it or appreciate it. And you ran this person off. They burnt out. They don't have much to give anymore. And you done lost a good thing. So, we have to figure out a way to, one, know what loves look like, being able to be transparent about how we feel, being able to be vulnerable, you know what I mean? And then you got to take some responsibility. You got to look in the mirror and say, I want to fix myself so I can become a better me. But I think a lot of times, the reason we don't seek counseling because we're problem solvers. We're taught to fix something. If somebody comes in, you got a flat tire, boom, let's change it. What a spare at. We're trying to fix the situation. Everything we do, we try to solve a problem. If somebody come to you about, what's the solution? What are we gonna do? Somebody come to you about anything, like something simple. They jumped my brother. All right, let's go. Et cetera, et cetera. We gonna go solve the problem, and that's what guys are. We problem solvers, but we don't solve the problem of the mental health puzzle, and we sweep it under the rug, which is probably more important than any other problem that you're trying to solve. So we got to find a way to turn problem solving into solutions for our own well-being, and then weakness though, everybody, we supposed to be strong to be successful, man. Come on, man. So what does that mean? Strong to be successful, but so you can't have vulnerabilities, you can't be emotional, you can't learn, It's like, come on now, like a weakness allows you to figure out how to become strong in that particular area. So you're not deficient anymore, and you're able to be competent in that particular weakness. I know I'm big on receiving constructive criticism. I want to fix what you feel that I'm doing wrong, especially if it has something to do with performance or how I communicate with people, how I interact with people. I've made mistakes, but I want to learn. I want to know what I need to do to fix them. And I can't do that if I'm not willing to be vulnerable in the moment or willing to display that weakness. Because you're not going to be strong in everything you do. And then change though. Even with counseling or mental health, it requires some change. You can't go out there and say, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this, da 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 da, and then you never make any sacrifices to make any change. Pardon me. So you gotta change. It's kind of like a root canal. You got to get to the root of the problem. And change requires some soul searching. you know, because you're accustomed to doing something one way, and that's what you feel like. You also feel like that's the right way because you're accustomed to it, but that don't necessarily mean it's the correct way. So you got to make some changes, you know, and there's nothing wrong with changing. You know, a lot of times, you know, change is always is better depending on the circumstances. And then control, man. You know, everybody likes to be in control, you know what I mean, to some degree. Everybody likes to have power. And we got to learn how to relinquish some of this control. And pretty much a lot of stuff that we do, we got to learn how to relinquish that control. And then, you know, sometimes you're uncomfortable with letting somebody lead. You know, it's the same thing with a job, or it's the same thing in relationships. The woman can take the lead sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with being in an uncomfortable situation. You know, it teaches you. There's growth. It teaches you how to trust somebody else. You know, and then another thing too, while we don't do none of this stuff, man, the men don't trust no counselor. They feel like a counselor can't get them to where they need to be. I'm not telling this lady or this man about me or what happened to me as a kid or what I experienced. I don't trust them that they can get me to where I need to be. And the reality is, you know, they're paid professionals and they can't get you to where you need to be. But the thing is that just because that one particular counselor didn't work out, that doesn't mean that the next one is the same as this counselor. You know, you got to find, it's basically like an identity. You got to find the identity of that counselor, you know, and it's more conversational than what does that look like? Or they asking you all the questions of, well, how does that make you feel? You know what I mean? It got to be more conversational. You know, you feel more reluctant to share when it's genuine, and you feel like the person is intrigued. They're in tune to what you got going on, and then you know, they presenting challenges for you that you are aware of, but not making you feel like, you know, you beating you down on yourself because of the mistakes you made or because you didn't cry for help. And then that's another thing too, crying for help. Like, you know, we feel like we can't spill the beans on we need help. Hey, you good over there? You know, everybody, yeah, I'm good, man. You know, I'm good. It's all good. No, you're not, man. You know, I think that's what we need. Just more guys getting together, breaking barriers to talk about issues, and hopefully, you know, just to tie all this in, that I can be a part of that. You know, I'm not a founder or a star, but I feel like if, you know what I mean, if I'm being vulnerable, another brother is being vulnerable, another brother is being vulnerable, that's 3. Then you try to get 6. 'Cause a brother that bring a brother, like, you know what I mean, that may even be the movement, you know, brother bring a brother. And let's talk about some of these issues, you know, that you struggle with in your marriages, in your relationships. Some guys with domestic violence, you know what I mean? Like, I always in tune to hear the psychological aspect of why you felt like you had to put your hands on her, because none of that changed anything about how she's going to moving forward. If anything, now it's, you know what I mean, is breaking this woman. So I want to know, you know what I mean, and I'm not here to judge you on, you know, why you felt like domestic violence was the answer, why you feel like you had to shoot this person, why you feel like you have anger issues, why you feel like you struggle in relationships, why you feel like you don't trust, why you feel like you can't, you know what I mean? I want to be a part of what can we do to move forward, and what can we do so we could become better men in our communities, better friends, better husbands, better brothers, better leaders, you know, in society. And it has to start with your mental health, being able to talk about this, you know, not when you hear somebody commit suicide, and now you want to address it. You know what I mean? The time is now, you know. But again, thank you guys for checking out my videos. Let me know, you know, I'm looking for feedback too. For you guys that's out there, let me know what topics, you know, you feel, or what issues you feel men struggle with that you would like to see another, your own personal man grow with. Like, you know, what's out there? What do you feel, or how do you feel that, you know, men struggle with mental health? What do you think we could do better as a society for the next man to grow? Do you Do you feel like transparency and vulnerability is the only way? Is there other ways? You know, I'm open to listening to you guys. You know, give some advice, some insight. You know, very, very much so. I appreciate it, and look forward to hearing from you guys. So thank you for checking out my video. Y'all enjoy y'all day.